thing.
We made it.
We did it, Reddit.
Oh, hey, the stream wasn't muted, and I got Bud Light all up in my ears.
Oh, that's the second worst place to get Bud Light. The first being in your mouth. Bud Light's not that bad.
Could be worse.
Could be PBR.
Could be Bud Ice.
Ooh.
Does it make Bud Ice? Or
I
Bud Select?
haven't had any of those.
Bud Ice. Just phonetically similar enough to think that you're going to drink something from Budweiss. No, it's not that good. All right, welcome to
That's the
Voices.
slogan.
Yes. Welcome to Voices in the Wilderness, a 13th Age adventure. When we last left our heroes, I wasn't here. And they discussed. And there was a discussion of potentially what was going to happen, where they should go, who they could trust, and of course, well, there was a little inter-party conflict.
A little?
But now we sit here at the morning of the discussion between some of the most powerful forces in the Empire, as well as the party members who can sit in with it. But at the same time, while two party members may be at this meeting, one is also going to be with the rest of the party. What's the plan there, party?
This is what we really should have been discussing last week.
Yeah.
We're breaking into a palace. A floating sky palace.
So you essentially know a few things. One, this is probably going to be the best time for you to get into the Imperial Retreat, now perched atop the library. You also know that you, in theory, can either have a device delivered to the docks, or Ferris has prepared a spell to teleport it in.
Wasn't it teleport it in or teleport something out? Wasn't that how we discussed we were going to do the spell?
I mean, I guess in theory we could, because I'm sure the rune that I can inscribe would be different for an exit portal versus an entrance portal. So I guess our options would be, find a non-discrete location to teleport something very dangerous, or, bring it in. But I guess my thought would be, we're going to collect it either way, so I don't know if we necessarily need to teleport it out.
Yeah, fair enough. Because at the very least, we would need to get the thing. It's a small enough thing that we could carry it out on us, so we don't necessarily need to teleport it out. Yeah.
Also, it's going to 100% fuse with whatever with me, so...
Yeah.
So I guess our options are, we can teleport Casey's device in. I think that's probably the best contingency plan, because basically all I need to do is draw the runes once we get there, and weaken the wards, obviously. But Carnifex might be able to help me out with that.
Carnifex, speaking of this,
Hi.
this is the first time in a while that you've gotten into your armor properly. You've kind of been wearing your dress uniform for the past little bit, correct?
Yep.
Now, knowing how this goes with your party, you've actually got some upgrades since then on behalf of the Crusader. You of course have your regular loadout, including your shining armor, your Dwarven Shield of Protection, the Sword of Vengeance that you have on loan from the Frogman,
Mine now.
the now upgraded Belt of Giant Health, where you can have one giant-sized recovery. But you also have 2 additional things that the Crusade has kind of given you to round out the rest of your armor. One, they've upgraded your gauntlets to siege engine mitts. When you throw a stone from these heavy gloves, the magic of the mitts imbue it with as much weight and force as a boulder hurled from a big siege catapult. You may make a basic ranged attack by throwing a pebble, but your projectile also inflicts lots of collateral damage on the surrounding scenery. You can smash down castle walls, break down doors, collapse ceilings, or tear huge holes in the ground by flinging a tiny piece of rock. I know I'm gonna regret giving you this.
I am strangely comfortable with this.
I'm not.
You also have been granted your Ring of Crusade Command. This ring symbolizes one rank amongst the forces of the Crusade. While it airs far away from the ornate rings of nobles and mages, it is instantaneously recognizable. Those amongst other Imperial factions will understand what the bearer of such a ring is capable of, and as such will generally begrudgingly lend aid. With this ring, on a recharge 16, you may turn a 6 with the Crusader into a 5 with the Emperor, or if you're being particularly forceful, the Council.
That is useful. Just a question.
Yeah.
Things here myself.
Yes.
I had a scabbard. What happened to that? Is that just gone?
You got it upgraded into the Belt of Giant Health.
Right.
You had the option to re-roll it, or to kind of go the Hungry Scabbard.
Right.
So
okay,
now-
so that's the belt.
Yeah. So now it's champion level, so you get 2 extra recoveries. And
Awesome.
once a day, you can designate one of your recoveries to be giant-sized and use D12s for the recovery.
And it got rid of the whole I have to kill an enemy or lose a recovery thing.
Yes, in fact, yes.
Okay.
It made one recovery better instead of
Instead of
damage for causing tension in the party.
excellent. I had forgotten about that. That's why I just wanted to clarify. Awesome. I'm gonna have to start carrying a little pouch of stones with me everywhere.
It's a new item that lets you throw some rocks around, the other lets you throw your weight around.
Yay.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
The sun has risen. It's still loud festival time outside. In fact, this is only intensifying as the day comes on. The fact that a new emperor has been born has brought joy to the entire capital. Little do they know that there is this intense meeting happening deep within the halls of the library. Ferris, Gunhild? Well, for Ferris, are you still planning on splitting up? You, more literally.
Yeah, I mean, someone needs to lead these jokers without being detected. And so, yeah, Ferris will... Yeah, he also needs to help represent, both Grand Ostrom's and Casey's interests at the table. He promised that he would look out for Casey, and he's not going to turn back on that promise.
Right. Gunhild,
Yep.
are you going to stand with your daddy at the table, or will you be going with the rest of the party?
I honestly can't remember what we decided on.
Well, initially we said that you'd stay with... and this is out of character, obviously, but initially we decided you'd stay with him just because you probably weren't going to be there for that session. But you're here now, so whatever you want to do.
Crap. I guess she'd probably just... I mean, assuming that was the initial decision, we'll just stick with that.
He did ask nicely.
Yeah. And I have prepared enough for both, so...
Sounds
We're
good.
gone. There's 2 Gunhilds.
What's the other one?
Well, Dan, here's a question.
Yes.
I have a 5 with the Oracle.
Yeah.
Is there a way I could extend the Cloak of Bilocation's effect to a Gunhild for a short period of time?
Okay, with an Oracle 5?
Oh, you fool. Doomed us all.
I don't see why not.
We were pretty doomed to begin with.
Oh, we were so doomed.
But
There's like some lag. She's like 5 seconds behind everything else that's going on.
you're going to need her cooperation, so
So yeah, Ferris will approach Gunhild, and so I know you promised your father that you would stand by him at the meeting, and it's probably eating you up inside that you can't, well, mostly watch over Malkesh and Lissy as we go into the palace, and I'll do my best to kind of rein them in, but I think I might be able to do what I can for me, split into 2 places for you, maybe.
Maybe?
It's a long shot, but I mean, it's this, and he kind of like lifts up the Shard of Prophecy. It can be channeled through magic items. I think, from what I know, it's a lot of kind of time displacement magic almost, and that should work pretty well with this cloak.
Well, you're not wrong. I obviously don't want to go back on a promise, especially to family, but I would feel a little bit better knowing that we have additional eyes and hands, tails, hammers. Well, if it really comes to that, the point is, yes, it sounds like a decent plan. How does it work exactly?
Ferris kind of pauses and looks up, like, it's odd. You will literally be in 2 places at once. But I think you can handle it. If I can handle it, you can.
Oh, that's fair, I guess. If you think it'll, I guess I've seen you do it before, so if you think it'll work, then I trust you on that. Seems, I'm not exactly as magically capable as you are, though, so...
Oh, don't worry, I'll handle this. I've done it before. It should just be a simple matter of expanding the influence of the cloak. It should go off without a hitch, don't worry.
Well... She kind of takes a moment to look at... stares off in the distance for a moment. Well, if there's anybody I trust, I'd say it's you right now, so... If you say it'll work, then let's give it a go.
That actually means a lot, Gunhild.
We gotta do what we can, right?
Right.
As long as nobody notices that there are 2 of me walking around, it should be okay.
Oh, if they notice there's 2 of you, they'll notice there's 2 of me, and well, we would have been found out anyway, so.
Well, people... Don't you have that thing that makes people think you're Fizz? Well, wait, then there'd just be 2 Fizzes, and then that would be even more confusing. Then they think it's an illusion. Sorry, getting off track.
The dog's found us out.
The guard dog sniffed us out already.
Oh, I guess I didn't think about this. In order to channel that magic through, I probably have to re-equip the Shard of Prophecy and the Gauntlet, won't I?
Well, currently the GM's out, so we can do whatever we want.
Nope.
We're free.
It works somehow.
It's magic.
See,
Yeah,
and
it's
everyone
magic.
thinking Malkesh and Lissy gonna cause everything to explode.
Well, it's not going to explode.
I think
Might
she's.
open
Oh,
up
I
a
guess
rip to
she's
a
not.
terrible.
Okay.
Really make things explode now just by throwing a rock.
In theory, you could do it without re-equipping it. But you still would have to use the shard. Which is a thing you've done in the past with the Speak with Magic item.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as I don't, use it excessively.
So you don't necessarily have to re-equip it.
Okay. So yeah, I won't re-equip it at this time, but I will, I guess, wrap it around the cloak, and then put a hand on Gunhild's shoulder, and try and do what I have done so many times in the past. Use the magic item's magical power to split into two different Ferrises, and also bring Gunhild along for the ride.
Alright. And as you do that, you kind of feel the weird... Ferris, it's not the first time you've done this, but the first time by using this particular power, you know that there's side effects. So Ferris and Gunhild, in the moment in between there being 2 of you and there being 4 of you, what do you see?
It's a very open-ended question. Is there a prompt for what we?
I figure since it's Shard of Prophecy induced, Ferris will actually probably see a brief glimpse of himself, thinking back to that dreamscape that they were in where he saw a corrupted Florentine standing over Sherwart. He's going to actually see himself briefly.
Let's see. So, Shard. Oh, let's see.
This is one of the first time Gunhild's gotten one of these, if I'm thinking correctly.
I don't think she's really had any direct exposure to any of the shards up until this point.
So,
I mean,
yeah, go ahead
my,
if you've got
my thought is, yeah. No, my thought is, like, shards can show all sorts of unusual or strange things, but she's going to see something a little more serene, yet still very strange and disturbing to her, which is kind of like how Ferris saw himself. She's going to see herself, but just as a normal human. Nothing unusual about her, just as she would have looked, or at least she thinks she would have looked, if the events that she understands in her past hadn't happened.
There is. So, Ferris, you see yourself. You see yourself just once again about to put Shorewort down. You feel that power. You feel that power just rumble through you. And then just at the last moment, before there's 2 of you, rather than Shorewort there, you instead see Fenrir. Gunhild, you have this serene vision. You see yourself in a village maybe not unlike the village you grew up in, as a normal human. And then once again there's kind of this static flash, as right before you are back where you stood between 2 people, you're as you were, only this time you're standing in Florentine's office. Though you have the absolute assurity of thought that this time it's your office. And then there's 2 of you.
Ferris kind of gasps and then shakes his head. And the Ferris that's going to be going with the party tucks the Shard of Prophecy into his pocket. Looks at Gunhild with kind of like a somber look, as if he hopes that she didn't see what he saw, or at least went through a similar experience. And just kind of nods, like, "Are you all right?"
So there's two of both of them right now, right?
Yeah.
I assume they're standing across from one another.
They independently look at different Ferrises. Just what? Isn't the
Just
is
just
it
take
always?
some time. It's is it always what? Disorienting a little bit. At least at first.
You're used to this. It felt so real.
That no, that's not normal. No. This, and then both Ferrises kind of like put their hands out and then kind of turn them over and then turn at each other and give themselves a high five. This is normal. I'm used to this.
Both Gunhill just kind of turn towards each other, kind of following what Ferris did, just tilt their heads at each other. I got nothing. Hold on. Just one of like they kind of take a moment to like inspect each other's armor and just like neither of them looks like really intent on speaking. And then finally, one of them just says, "Oh, you saw that too, then?" First one says, "Yeah, I think I did." It's like, well, I guess we'll sort this out later.
Ferris kind of puts a hand up. Before we leave, I just want you to know whatever happens to one of you will happen to both of you. So, and he kind of like waves, like hesitates, pointing between one of the two Gunhilds. Whichever one of you is coming to the palace, just be careful.
Both of them kind of put their hands on their hips and just go, "You couldn't have said that beforehand?"
Well, I'm saying it now.
Well, which one of us... Okay, hold on. They turn towards each other, just like... Okay, rock, paper, scissors.
And after 20 rock, paper, scissors sessions later, Ferris finally will decide to flip a coin.
Strangely enough, one of them wins immediately.
Oh.
One of them picks rock and the other one picks scissors.
Huh, that's... Ferris kind of cocks an eyebrow. That's never happened. Well, okay, that's fine.
Wait, is that how you normally decide things?
Well, well... I mean, normally it's just kind of the one mind, two bodies sort of thing, but I mean, that's interesting. I'll take a note of that.
One of the Gunhill just like looks at the other one's tail for a moment. It's like, huh, that's okay. Well, you okay with she, like literally talking to herself? So you're okay with I guess you're okay with staying at the meeting then? Oh yeah, I got it. That'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of the rest. Well, if you say so. Just keep them out of trouble. And the one that's leaving turns towards the Ferris that's also leaving. It's like, all right, I think we're ready.
All right, yeah, let's get rolling. I don't know how much time we have. Hopefully, as much as we need.
Yeah.
Ferris claps his hands and rolls out.
All right.
Good news, everybody. Gunhild's coming with us.
The Gunhild that's staying just like waves towards the other Ferris, and Gunhild's like, stay out of trouble.
You know we won't.
All right. Infiltration party. You're
Hi.
all meeting up together.
Oh, by the way, I talked about this with Lissy, but she's not here. Carnifex will also probably feel that his armor is maybe a little bit lighter
Nope.
because
So you're saying that he doesn't feel that his armor is light.
No, I'm saying it would have been under lock and key, and you can't get at it.
Oh, well, in that case, Ferris will slyly walk up to Carnifex and try to put a hand on his shoulder. You ready for this, big guy?
Don't touch me.
And Ferris's hand is hovering over Carnifex's shoulder,
Move out of the way.
and I'm just gonna try and secretly mage hand. Basically, I told Lissy this in a private Discord, but I wanted her to make a spell battery with the levitate spell in it to basically allow Carnifex's heavy plate armor to kind of hover away from itself a little bit, so it's not so loud. But I guess I'm gonna need to try and stealth this onto Carnifex.
All right.
Yeah, this is gonna fail miserably, but yeah, let's do a quick reverse pickpocket check on Carnifex. I don't know how that's gonna be contested, but
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's...
Would I? I don't know.
If you want to try to contest it. Just a general kind of awareness with wisdom.
And
he's gonna roll on that 20 and just rip Ferris's arm off.
Beat him with it. Uh,
Carnifex just looks at him.
We're
Were you
rolling
trying to
just
make my
wisdom.
armor levitate?
Yeah,
I knew it.
Wisdom-based background check.
oh, okay.
That probably sounds like a special forces type roll, but
It's, yeah, kind of. I mean, being aware of your surroundings and knowing what your enemies or doing.
allies, questionable allies.
Yeah, questionable allies. People you don't trust completely. No.
wow.
That was close though.
Yeah, no, that, you're able to sneak it on.
It's subtle. It's just it's not like he's floating or anything, but the armor's not clanking as loudly as it should. Also, I
The old
burned
mage hover
a
hand.
utility spell on that, so I'm gonna make sure I mark that off.
Yeah, here's also a weird thing. You realize that with it on there and it on sneakily, either Carnifex could burn a smite, or you could burn another spell to fully activate that levitate spell.
Fun. This will be fun. But Ferris doesn't say that.
Your first challenge, Infiltration Party. You need to get through the library.
I mean, we have hall passes still, don't we?
Yeah, we've still got hall passes.
Yeah, you can pretty easily get through the library. That was not a very tough first challenge.
Woo!
Until,
You get through the first challenge. Good job, everybody.
until you get to the part at the top of the library where after a little bit of climbing, you notice that there's a lot more Imperial Guard here.
Hey, somebody give me a stone. Kidding, that was out of character.
I'm gonna give you a what?
Stone.
A stone. No.
Suppressed rock.
And you know that this is the part, you're at the top of the
Okay.
library, you know this is where it connects.
Question.
So Ferris is going to kind of nudge Carnifex.
One second. When was the last time that we rolled for Icon die? Was I gone at that point? Because I noticed everybody has some and I have nothing.
All right, you can roll it because it was
So
recently.
I just burned mine. So
Yeah, roll some icon die.
You. Then. You.
of course there's a 6 with the Oracle.
All right, you have a 6 with the Oracle.
Carnifex just like in the middle of this mission, just like drops down and like rolls some dice real quick.
You know from looking at the outside, you know that there's a point where pretty much kind of vents and technological-looking connections attached to the library to the island that makes up the Imperial Retreat. You also know that there's a whole bunch of really nice picture windows at the top of the library. What do you do?
I mean, we could just go up and say, "Hey, let me through," but then that's suspicious, and they'll know it was us.
Yeah, and at the very least, they'll know we got in.
Yeah, which
Even
is
if they do
kind
let
of
us
what
in.
we're trying to avoid. Sorry.
Do you want me to kill him?
No.
Okay, well, then someone come up with a plan, because I'm running out of ideas here.
I feel like there's a lot of steps in between kill them and Ferris nudges
Okay.
Carnifex again.
Not when no one suggests any.
Okay.
You're trying to subtly tell something to the one party member who has no subtlety whatsoever. Remember that.
Hey, Carnifex, these people respect you. Talk to them. Get us up there.
Will be known though. They'll know it was us. Something happens. Point it at us, because
Okay,
don't
well,
forget,
then
we're
get
not
them
supposed
out
to
of
be
here
there.
and put us in charge of guarding this area.
Camille just kind of nudges Ferris, like,
They're not crusaders.
have-
I can't.
"Don't you have that thing that makes you think your other people like off on them?"
We could try creating
So-
a distraction.
I'm pretty good at that.
Or there's,
No
like,
killing anybody with the distraction.
No.
I mean, okay, you can set off like a potion or something that explodes a little bit, but not a lot, or just makes a lot of
What
noise.
about
Yeah,
have them chase something?
Yeah,
that's
I mean, yeah. Okay,
everything on
just
high alert.
Can I get just a little bit of rumble from you?
like high alert. Happening. Is there?
Do you want
like-
high alert or do you want these guys gone?
Just
or
these
we
guys,
could find
no
another
high
way
alert.
in.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Everyone talked at once. Try that again.
We can find another way in.
Oh, let's do that.
Something not.
I mean, I was just gonna have a skeleton run up and kick him in the shin and run off, but we can find another way in.
Actually, that sounds like a pretty reasonable idea.
I mean, if we're not killing him, yeah.
And, I mean, the skeleton's unusual, but it's not like they'll know where it came from. There are worse plans.
I like to imagine that we're having this conversation like right in front of all these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just like watching
Right,
we're watching the cone of vision from the guard just like go left and right.
No, but I think that's a good plan. In the meantime, I can kind of make it a little bit more convincing. We can make it sound like there's something going on down below, like an actual battle,
Or like a xylophone as the skeleton runs up.
or like yes, I mean, well, yeah.
The skeleton war has begun
Right?
already.
It's just like as the skeleton runs up, it's just like a rising scale on his xylophone, and the last note is the Metal Gear alarm sound.
There you go. See, this is what I was thinking of. And now everybody watches it. Watch it later.
God.
All right. What do you do?
Everybody watches the Dance of Death from King's Quest.
I mean, do you want me to do that? I mean, I've got the bone.
No,
dust.
yeah, I'm fine with. I'm
Yeah,
fine
I
with
don't
that.
think-
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't hear any objection to it.
this I've been
I just-
ejecting the entire time.
I just
You
want
object
to
to
zhuzh it up.
You're outruled.
Like, I think we just need to get these people out of the way, and what better way to do it than to present a threat and then make it seem like that threat is legitimate down below
or we
deck.
can find another
we
way. That's not going through guards or setting off
Well,
guards.
what
or
is
going-
what is the
Oh my
other
God.
way then?
Well, I mean,
We gave you the
Yeah,
option. There was like several seconds of silence.
no, I'm just saying, like with Carnifex, well, because Dan explained there's like machinery and vents and pipes are up the side of the building that leads to big picture windows.
Can we
So
fit you in a pipe? Could you climb on a pipe? You look a little
Are you
bit.
gonna throw
Just grease him up
rock
a
at
little
the
bit.
window?
I don't think
In
he's
the
pipe sized.
throw you all out a window soon.
I think we can get rid of these guards.
Carnifex climbs up a pipe and like hangs from several ledges by his fingertips.
Without killing these guards, which is important.
Yeah, I mean, this will get their attention.
Yeah,
I'm not just gonna ignore it. I mean,
yeah. I mean, they're not gonna Bruno's not gonna kill him, right?
oh no.
Okay, good.
I control him.
Yeah, good.
I
Ah,
can turn him to ash before
Look,
he
they
becomes a
just-
threat like that.
Here, and Ferris kind of like guides Gunhild and Carnifex behind a doorway, and opens the door so they're behind it. Everybody else just
can I
press
go
up
the
against.
other way? Screw these guys. I'm out.
I mean, that's always an option, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
Screw you, hippie. I'm going home.
God.
what would we get to convince you that this would be the right plan?
The guards
Like-
will be safe.
Yeah,
I want to.
all we need is a
talk to
temporary
Dan for a
distraction
bit.
so they don't see us getting up there, right? That's all we need.
Look, just because you could climb up doesn't mean you have to. This is your game.
Use my amazing non-existent. Actually, one second. Let me just check something here. Let me character sheet this up. Yeah, he's not that smart. Can I use? I don't think I could use a roll to convince my own party. That's more for
Nope.
other people. Ha.
I mean, I'll be honest, out
know.
of character, I have a dex of 4, so bring on the climb. But I'm okay with having them chase a skeleton, too, so...
I'm gonna say that right now, with no other options presented, we're gonna go with skeleton plan.
Well, when it all goes wrong, I'm going to turn you guys in.
Well, look, this is your fault for having the papyrus avatar.
Shut up.
Yeah. Are you using a particular...
I'm just gonna send Bruno. I'm just gonna summon Bruno in.
Alright.
I'm going to
I
use
can
Cantrip
control him.
Mastery and Ghost Sound to make it sound like there's a hella ruckus, like just coming from the hallway that leads out to the roof.
Alright.
Does it sound like Bone Trestle?
Yeah. And also a lot of screaming. Well, like a moderate amount of screaming.
Yeah, you don't want too much.
Like it's
Just-
in hand, but they could probably use some help.
Medium amount of screaming.
Mild to moderate screaming, yeah.
About a 5.5 on the scream scale.
It's
effectively...
the
Yeah. No, the plan works. Both guards. One actually kind of goes off and one actually gives some hand signals to the other so that he goes forward, and then the other guard kind of posts up by one of the doors. with his back to you just long enough for you to kind of book it in through. However, now you are in kind of the bowels of the island. It's almost like a cave system with many. It's a bit labyrinthine, and it's got some kind of man-made rooms carved into it. But you know through these halls there's going to be regular patrols. And while you're thinking about how you're going to get through the bowels of the island, let's go down to the meeting for a second. Ferris. Before you enter, Rixus kind of approaches you and goes, Ferris.
Yeah.
I'm not making a request. I'm just giving you an option. And he looks and he kind of stands up on his chair. Ferris, I know you're... And he's doing this kind of quiet, and this is right before you enter the room. I know I said that I wouldn't be able to help the party if you so got separated. Or discovered.
Right.
But you, in theory, have a future in front of you. You're talented, you're clever, your family is on the up and up once again. As I said, I just want to give you some options, and he takes, from one of his pockets, takes a pin and then pins it right into Ferris's, right into pretty much Ferris's shirt. This is a one charge of a teleport spell. Break the skin, channel your power, it'll bring you back to the house in the city.
Oh, first. Admires it a little bit. Hopefully don't need it, but hey. Thank you.
I only have one. Well, I have two. I keep one on myself just in case.
And I'm sorry, Dan, you kind of cut out. I heard break the skin and then
Yeah.
something
Yes.
be teleported back to the...
Yes, you break the skin, you'll be teleported back to the house.
Okay, that's just it. Okay.
I only,
There's nothing...
I only have the one of them, so it's just going to take you, so... You'd be leaving the rest to whatever fate they've gotten into. But I said, you have a future. I'd provide more, but I only have the one for you. Well, I have two. I keep one for myself.
Well, I mean, it's appreciated. I'm surprised you see that much potential in me. At least legitimate potential.
You've gotten this far. And you enter the room, both, and Calderak just nods to Gunhild, and then you see at the head of the table, Vaguna speaks up. We have decided at best that the Child Emperor does not attend the meeting. This is already a saturation of allies and tensions. There's no need to put a risk on the new Imperial miracle. I will instead be acting as both the voice of the Imperial Guard and of, in general, the Imperial wishes. We'll now be taking general reports, and Florentine starts hers. Oh, excellent, excellent. Well, it's been an extraordinarily successful few months for the library. Our breadbasket project has increased yields, leading fewer of the Imperial Imperial cities going hungry. It's, in fact, most of the empire is being fed by that one region. We also have no shortage of Imperial Mage Knights, as well as the general Imperial forces choosing to use some of our new enhancements. It's creating a stronger, firmer fighting force. And Vaguna nods and then goes, Commander Lockhart. And he simply, the crusade continues to keep the Empire safe from the demonic threat. And with that, you'll actually hear Arlando pipe up and say, well, save for the city you almost lost. And Vaguna just kind of hushes him. Now, we're in the unique situation where most of us were present. Many of us were present at the events of Guildhome. And Zexal pipes up. Guildhome is a sovereign city of the Allied Kingdoms as well. We appreciate the Crusade's help, as well as the Imperial assistance in securing the city, but it was ultimately our troops that liberated it.
So Ferris will kind of pipe up. Don't forget the mages from Grand Adostrum that also provided artillery.
Zexal and Rixus nod. And Lockhart turns to Ferris. Ferris, you were there. Same with you. And he looks to Gunhild.
We were.
You are mostly unbiased. Tell us, how did you feel of the Crusade's support, as well as the performance of Commander Reinhardt?
Out of character, real quick. I'm racking my brain to remember exactly who Reinhardt was.
He was the... Oh, yeah, go ahead, Carnifex.
He was the one that, remember in the village, like he was my boss there, and then I come to build the navy, which then Shorewort was supposed to captain and led to the whole thing. He was at Adventure, he was captured and twisted, so he's like, he's still human, but has like some demon-y looking features to him. And then we met him in Guildhome, and we fought stuff.
He was the commander of the Crusader forces in Guildhome at the time when we arrived.
Yeah.
Ferris will kind of pipe up and say, well, I think the Crusade was dealt a hard hand in Guildhome. I was present when events started, and it caught everybody off guard. Some cultists had opened up a demonic rift and caught the city entirely by surprise.
Florentine.
It was impressive that they were able to hold out as long as they could.
Florentine interjects. After they handed a navy to an insane pirate, who in turn handed it over to the demonic forces. They were cleaning up their own mess.
Ferris just kind of shrugs. I don't know a lot about all that. I didn't get involved until things had actually taken off. But
Lockhart.
He did what he could given the situation. I mean, he was fighting demons. Unfortunately, I don't always agree with all the extremes that people go to, and she kind of locks eyes with Florentine with that, but continues on with, I can't honestly say I believe it was the absolute correct choice, but if it was either that or have the place completely run over by demons, could you really fault him for that?
Lockhart then speaks. And as you can see, we did as was necessary. And more importantly, if you look on site, well, Reinhardt was a foolish commander in his youth. He has begun picking it up. He's assisted the Allied Kingdoms non-partisanly. He's grown stronger. In fact, both him and Commander Carnifex, from their bravery at Guildhome, demonstrates how we can use the demonic tools against them. Infiltration party.
Hi.
We're back.
Hello.
You see the labyrinthine caves. What's your plan to get through without being caught by a patrol?
Used my elf ears to hear.
I think Ferris and Hunhow are going to take point on this, and Ferris has many instances of breaking into places where he shouldn't be. Plus, Hunhow's experience with, just being generally elfy.
Hey,
Hunhow
Dan?
is pretty
Yes.
elfy.
so there's a new section on my guide to alchemy
Yes.
that I haven't ever used before,
That is one of the advantages of it
and
being
it
an
says you almost always have an herbal remedy to deal with a problem or freeform challenge. Could Malkesh put together something to make the sound of their footsteps quieter? Like a moss footing or something like that.
Sure. If everybody kind of wants to do some rolls here, Hunhow, you can use wisdom to use your elf ears. Ferris, dexterity for being on alert. And Malkesh, you can use intelligence to make a little potion or a little herbal remedy as you described, and of course you get those additional bonuses.
On how what do your elven ears hear?
They hear 24.
I might have loved that show. Actually, I've never seen an episode.
Things went down the wreck there.
Yeah, wow.
Plus 20, that's impressive.
Yeah. High
Yeah.
intelligence and +9.
Yep. Malkesh, describe the herbal remedy you've created. It's just that it's kind of a mossy.
Yeah, it's really just it's kind of like a net of mosses and vines, but it's spongy. It's sort of like a liquidy, like the vine is a water-bearing vine. So when sort of woven together, it forms almost like a mat or something that can be attached to the bottom of a shoe that sort of takes the compression and spreads the pressure out. So when your boot touches the ground, it doesn't go clap, it goes, it slows down that impact, so it makes it quieter.
Hunhow is a big fan of his new shoes.
Ferris is initially offended that Malkesh would think that Ferris needs help being sneaky, but will ultimately kind of give in.
I don't want them.
You get him. You continually to be unwillingly magically augmented.
We just hold him down and slip on these moss
Yeah.
slippers on him.
And it takes literally everybody to do it.
Ferris, as you're going through, you pretty much are able to react to any patrol that comes by. And Hanhao, you can mostly hear what's going on, but to the point where, you can hear really the bustling areas, so you do kind of take everybody around a little longer way than expected. But you all end up in kind of the surface of the island. And you know that there's a few areas here, including the proper gardens and retreats right at the center. How are you going to approach that? You're kind of in the middle of a courtyard with numerous buildings and high walls along the edge of the island.
I say Ferris's opinion is we go up. I mean, not a lot of people. You're in a floating sky palace already. Not a whole lot of people are looking up.
Okay, so I'm glad I'm not crazy for having that as my first thought. Because that was exactly what I was thinking, but I was like, nah, I'm going to keep quiet a second. Somebody will come up with a better idea.
Somebody will come up with the exact same idea.
That just verifies that I'm not insane. Then yeah, I second the idea. Let's go up.
All right. As you climb, you realize you could probably make it either to a kitchen area or more of an entertaining area, just kind of the way everything loops around. But both will get you inside the actual proper palace in the center.
When you say entertaining area, what kind of entertainment are we talking
Like we're
about?
talking like a grand ballroom.
Let's not
No.
go there.
I didn't bring the
no.
clothes.
And while you think about that, let's go back to the negotiations. And as this point is, Zexel will speak up. We have been offered and been given assurances that what happened in Orther's Glory was not the work of the Empire. Tensions are high, but we will offer the same thing that we have for years. We can engage in a proper peace treaty if you give to the Allied Kingdoms and allow the execution of the imprisoned dragon Erasuriz. To which you just look at the other three that are just... Some are a little confused, and then Florentine goes, "That is both insane and unacceptable." And
I say Ferris is completely taken aback by this. Or is this common knowledge that he's captured by the Allied Kingdoms?
he would be captured by the Empire. Pretty much the Imperial line is he disappeared in the Empire, protecting everybody in the war, whereas in the Allied Kingdoms, the general feeling is he betrayed the Imperial hero and is either being kept hidden or ran away. And Vaguna will speak up. Are you really willing to put an entire peace treaty contingent on what's mostly a myth? Gunhild, you have seen it in the past. You know that the Allied Kingdoms is correct. That Erasuriz did betray the Empire. And Ferris and Gunhild, you both will remember what Stillnoct said and informed you that it was in an attempt to kind of create something to fight the demons. The fact that Zexel has brought this up means that it in theory could be true, especially with Florentine's reaction to it.
Initially, for Gunhild, she's So, trying to focus on literally two things at once. She doesn't like initially react to the information, but she like eventually looks over like Ferris and Florentine's reaction and just like tries to act shocked, as though they would. And then she just like overacting, like yawns, like, "Oh, did not sleep well last night."
And then,
Ferris like just kind of shoots daggers at Gunhild, like she's not doing a good job of selling this.
and Rixus would then speak up. All things considered, if we consider this as an actual possibility, that this is yet another thing the Empire has kept hidden from many of us. And Florentine just looks, "You're not even seriously considering this, are you?" And then Rixus kind of gives her a look. "It would make quite a few things make sense, Florentine. I did have your job at one point, but you seem to always have people on your side. If this is the case, especially if we look at an independent Grand Nadostrum, we're willing to talk to the Allied Kingdoms about this." And Zexel. And like Orlando just immediately looks to him and is like, "Is this what you're pushing this now? At one of the most dangerous times?" And it's like, and Orlando will then say, "We've already begun work on creating a new airship yard that will create a fleet that rivals Grand Nadostrum. Grand Nadostrum is not doing itself any favors by separating itself off between my expertise as well as the brilliance of your Captain Honda." Florentine nods and Vaguna speaks up. "This is all well and good, but shouldn't we be focused on keeping the Empire together right now, rather than immediately going to the side of the Allied Kingdoms?"
Let's say Ferris will kind of interject at this point. Like, with all due respect, Commander, I've seen how the Empire sometimes treats the mages of Grand Nadostrum. I watched as innocent people were herded into caravans under suspicion of treason.
Mm-hmm.
If this is how the Empire treats itself in this regard, is it something that is worth keeping together?
And then Vaguna kind of takes a step back and... So really that's what you'd like to go on record, not how the Empire was vigilant in appearing when the potentially demonic threats to Grand Nadostrum began surfacing.
I mean, I would like to go on record as saying that both things were present. The Empire was vigilant and ready to intercede with demonic threats, but also at the risk of harming its citizens. You did an admirable job, Commander. You tried to save the city, but I think perhaps the Empire is a little bit too aggressive at the times. Would that sort of thing have flied in Twin Lakes?
She takes a step back. And Lockhart will speak up. On top of this, now, the Crusade has had our tussles with Orkkind, but our primary concern has always been demonic forces, to which we have heard some rumors of certain orc tribes reinvestigating their connections to it. Are these new wildlands really the type of ally Grand Adostrum can depend on? And Calderak would
Ferris,
then...
yeah, Ferris will kind of pause and look at Gunhild and Calderak.
She's gonna let Kelderak speak.
Absolutely. We've more than... we've more than... And then Vaguna will just kind of... Ambassador. I trust that you'll do your best to vouch for your people. But... I believe your daughter? And he nods. I've seen both your daughter do admirable things in Grand Adostrum, as well as she's been vouched for by my sister for the very work that she did in the Orklands. What's your opinion, Gunhild?
She's kind of trying to pick up on the language that's being used here and just says, well, I will go on record as saying that, I mean, I've worked alongside the people of the Wildlands. I've worked alongside them. I've fought with them. Not with them, of course. Alongside them. But there are a few more reliable groups that I would work with alongside, my companions here. And she kind of motions towards Ferris. But if there was anyone I would trust, and anyone I think that you should trust, it would be the Wildlands group. They faced so many challenges, so many difficulties in getting to this point. It'd be a grave mistake to turn them away now.
There's a murmur as everybody talks back and forth, and then we go back to the climbing group. Where are you guys headed?
Not the ballroom. We're all underdressed.
Ferris is thinking that the kitchen is probably the best bet, and if anybody has any cooking experience, and
Markesh raises his hand.
All right, and then Ferris. Well, hang on. Let me make sure I can actually cast a spell at this. I think I can cast it on somebody else, but let me double check. Because the spell is technically disguise self, but
I'm just gonna say yes.
I mean, why
Okay, then
why
yeah.
disguise? Just let him grab a hat.
well, because you're a goblin.
You being racist?
Yeah.
Wow, you saying they can't have goblin chefs?
On the Imperial retreat? No.
You know what? It's gonna be hilarious when we walk into the kitchen and it's just all goblin
goblins.
chefs.
Yeah.
Because you've given Dan the
It's just-
opportunity.
Yup.
Oh,
Well, it's too
man.
late. Ferris cast disguise self on Malkesh.
Goblins? I thought this was an orc restaurant. They don't even have authentic orcs cooking.
Malkesh, you are disguised as a goblin that doesn't quite look like you, but you're wearing an Imperial cooking uniform, I guess?
Markesh looks at the Imperial cooking uniform that's covering his white lab coat, which looks very similar, and then looks up at Ferris like, really?
Ferris just gives a thumbs up.
You have a very tall hat as well.
Well, that's appreciated, but... Also, I'm probably not a mountain goblin anymore, but that's sad. Oh well. Malkesh just sort of goes, alright, walks into the kitchen.
You see a single gnome cooking.
Malkesh doesn't address him, draw his attention, he just walks through. Goes back towards the freezer.
At that point, just as you're going into the freezer, you see a few guards enter with a cart, and they seem just to be collecting up rations that have been kind of prepared. Doesn't seem like there's any parties or anything going on, it just seems that this gnome is cooking for the guards here.
Oh! Alright then. Malkesh goes in the freezer and looks for a crate of, like, vegetables.
Root vegetables or leafy vegetables?
Root, something heavy. Falls would roll.
You find a whole bunch of rutabagas.
Malkesh kind of
You can do with a
makes
stack of vegetables.
sort of an audible noise as he kind of strains to get up and kind of waits, kind of stands there waiting for the guards to sort of take their set of rations and leave.
And they push out. And on the way out, we just hear, next group will be by in 10 minutes. And then I think that's the last two.
Malkesh, once he's gone, Malkesh kind of makes a straining noise and then pulls the thing of rutabagas down on the ground. Ah, God! Help!
Oh,
It's stuck!
and the gnome runs over, and then he just looks. Oh, didn't they tell you? And he kind of bends to help. I didn't need any relief. We're not. Most of the actual residents of the retreat have pulled into the garden, and they assure me that they'll be taken care of there. I didn't need an extra person.
No,
Are
it's
you
for
alright?
decoration. Yeah, sorry, no, they wanted some cut rutabagas for the table.
Oh.
Could you get that one rolled over there? I'm hurt. I need to get something for my hand.
And then he goes over to find the rolled rutabaga and bends over to grab it from under the shelf it rolled under.
Malkesh walks out of the freezer, closes the door, and pins it. Listen, I could have killed him.
Yeah, good up.
I mean, you very well may have.
Nah,
Yeah.
we'll let him out later.
We
Sun-
will.
We're gonna be here later.
The door's stuck. I can't get it open.
Oh, what? Can you give me a charisma-based check to sell that lie?
Sure. I have a question,
Yes.
because I'm not sure which to choose, so this question will determine. Being as this is not a modern world, how does refrigeration work in this setting?
Magic!
Great, then we're
Yeah.
gonna go with Alchemist.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, the seal
Actually-
seems to be stuck.
Actually, it could be either, because I did describe this as, littered with machinery and vents on the island. Mome doesn't make any sense. Go with the one you'd rather.
Seal seems to be stuck. Hold on, I'm gonna... God, I wish I was taller.
I know that feeling.
Hold on, it's being slow. That's a horrible roll.
Is that including your +4 or no?
No, it's on herbal check. I don't think
Ah.
so. I think
Is
it just
this
counts as a
Don't worry, and you just hear him just press a button with a beep beep. And it's like, some of the guards will be in soon to kind of double check. They'll be able to help and reach something. It won't take long.
Okay, I'll try to get somebody.
Oh no,
Just
I
stay-
just
sit
buzzed them.
They just left. I'll get them before they get the sound.
Okay, go ahead.
While he's talking, he's backing towards the stove. And he just pulls out a select set of herbal things to put in with the stew.
Okay, give me another one.
This one
Tell
I
me
can
what
use
you're
that
doing.
+4. I think drowsiness would be the best choice.
All right.
I know you all thought I was gonna poison everybody, but
No, I figured sleepiness would be the thing that you would aim for.
sleeping
I was
I had-
thinking
I had faith.
diarrhea.
I mean,
Ooh.
character-wise,
Yeah, that's a good one, isn't it?
character-wise, Gunhild questions Malkesh's intentions, but she doesn't think he's going to just casually
you're not
murder
there.
a bunch of people.
All right. Give
I
me
mean,
that roll.
we're in like the
I
vents.
think,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
watching
well,
as this
She's
going
not
on.
there at the moment, but I'm just saying.
I think indigestion is a great choice. Not indigestion, but violent projectile indigestion.
Right. From either end, really.
Please
Roll
stop
for
describing
laxative.
this and roll.
My God, my rolls are horrible.
Well, you got a +4 on that, right? That's 32.
No, that's with the +4.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
My rolls are bad.
All right. You are a bit rushed in this, to the point where you grab a handful of herbs and throw it in, and you realize, no, that was cilantro. So now you know that there's going to be a couple of guards who probably won't eat it because it will taste like soap.
So we're gonna get it's gonna come down to like a 4 guard. I can't keep up because I didn't eat lunch.
That is the best fail forward I've ever heard of.
That it really is.
Mukesh just kind of shakes his I should have taken a fucking soul. Walks out of the kitchen.
But you know that at least some of one patrol of guards will be a little drowsy.
Drowsy or cranky.
Otherwise indisposed.
Mukesh kind of having done that, Mukesh opens the door of the kitchen, motions them through. We gotta move.
Alright. You do get through and you're able to move, and then you come to a door that leads to what you know is kind of the central, like the central, more secure area of the Imperial retreat.
Be back in a second.
And you see a lock on it that is not like that. You see two. You see one that's kind of a more classic magical lock, as well as that goes into a regular physical lock. But you also see a small point that looks like what kind of a hand would get pressed into, and it would prick one of the fingers.
I see Ferris kind of perks up at the classic lock, but he's gonna do. What kind of check would it be to kind of inspect, like, or I guess to intuit what that? Like, I'm guessing this is some sort of like DNA lock type thing, but I guess intuit like who would be authorized to.
Yep, that would be wisdom.
Yeah, okay. This is 100% cat burglar. Good thing my wisdom is my lowest stat.
You remember a conversation you had with Casey. When you asked her why did she kidnap Cyril, to which her only response was, well, you know how the vision works. They kind of give you a path of action, but sometimes they leave out important details.
So Ferris kind of grumbles beneath his breath, like should have kidnapped Cyril, and then I guess he'll start working on the regular lock while trying to buy some time into what he can do for the handprint. I guess that'll be a dex-based check for that one.
Yeah.
Really, another 23?
We hit an area of bad air. Just bad rolls.
This is gonna take some time. So, you know that there might be a patrol coming by fairly soon. Somebody else, while you work on that, is going to have to figure out a way to reroute that patrol.
The Ferris just kind of mentions, like, as quietly as he can, somebody run interference. This is gonna take some time.
How long has it been since we left the kitchen?
It's been long enough that some people would have eaten.
Well, no, I mean, have they let the guy out yet? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that it's been long enough that somebody
Oh.
probably came by and let the guy out.
All right then. People that haven't done anything yet.
So I'm waiting for Carnifex to come back, but
Yeah, I'm
he's
kind of racking my
muted
brain.
and probably ordering.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here trying to think of anything, but it's not happening just yet.
What
Wall
the
of text.
hell did I just roll?
A wall of text.
I hope you know.
Lucas opens a book and
podcasting.
starts reading to
We
distract.
are learning about
focus.
focus.
Okay, so apparently I accidentally clicked to. Wow, I'm never want to
Welcome,
click that
welcome
button
to the
again.
occultist class in 13th Age.
I did not know if I accidentally clicked the roll icon next to my spell descriptions, it would roll the entire description.
Yep.
Jesus.
That's the default.
Oh wow.
Oh, there we go. All right. Does anybody have an idea? Okay, well, while we're waiting on that, let's go back to the.
Sorry, I'm back.
Okay, let's.
Carnifex, help us. Run interference.
What's going on?
Ferris is picking a lock, but it's going to take time. You know there's a patrol coming. Interference needs to get run.
Okay. Right. What am I supposed to do?
Interfere.
How is
Start a
this?
fire.
No, how is this this area that we're in lit? What is giving it lighting?
It is what look like kind of magical gas lamps.
Wondering if Hunhow could use some of his magic to just basically knock out the lighting in this area. You'd mean you'd be working in pitch black, but
That's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. If you want to either spend a spell resource or give me a spell casting type roll, I believe Wisdom is your stat.
Yeah, let's see here. What would be probably the most appropriate?
Did you have
I'm just gonna go for a basic rebuke
Sure.
and give you the spell roll. Wow.
roll this 2?
Okay. Well,
Yeah, that's not good.
you hit. And just pretty much all the lights go out at once, just like with a. And then you just hear a guard voice being out. It's like, and you just hear, it's like, all right, everybody, we need to check around. I knew it was a mistake to put us all in a skeleton crew. But with that, Ferris, that kind of, you do get through pretty much just as a guard patrol is going to clear the corner. And you are in the center, and you are in darkness. And you hear the sound of guards outside.
Oh, good. This seems like the kind of time where Shadow Walk becomes useful.
Well, we do have lots of shadow right now.
Yeah. This is
You-
probably more... Yeah. Sorry.
You hear a voice going, it's like, of looking around, it's like, I'm gonna check this door to make sure.
We lock it.
What's that? What would this... I know you probably don't have stats for these guys. What would that guy's HP be, roughly?
His HP would be roughly... Let's give him... 72.
Let's see what sleep. Well, I would assume that I can hit it, but let me roll to be sure. 5d20 plus 50. Barely. Okay, I put him to sleep, but I catch him as he falls. And then I'm going to ghost sound to basically mimic his voice. All clear here.
Alright. You have a sleepy guard, and they are clearing away.
How much damage do you think that pricking the finger would do?
Not a lot. It's designed
Like
to be...
not 10 hit points worth of damage.
No, it's not designed to...
Just Ferris is gonna real quick try and put his hand up to that handprint and see what happens.
He puts it, and... You see pretty much a swirling... pretty much the runes change, and then the swirling thing, and then you have You just see, kind of in glowing runes, the name Finnegan spelled out, and then the sound of the door locking.
That's weird.
Turkish face bumps.
Why would it say Finnegan though?
I'm pretty sure it's a lot more complex than you give it credit.
But
Oh,
Also, good job.
did you
I used
Oh,
I
you
used the
used-
guard's
You
hand.
used the guard's
The
hand.
sleeping guard's hand, yeah.
Alright, then it just says McDougal.
McDougal, okay, and then it locks.
I almost imagine it's a spinning thing, and it's just like names passing by. Spin, spin, spin. Finnegan McDougal.
It says McDougal clearance. It says clearance 1, and then it locks.
Well, shit.
But it locks
already
you
have-
on the inside.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you are through. It's just locked you more in than out.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I can take that.
Right.
I guess we continue forward in darkness. I guess
Yeah.
since the door is shut, we can probably cast a little bit of light. I've got a cantrip for that.
I do too.
Okay, yeah, I mean, whichever.
Not a cantrip, but it's a non-expendable spell, which I guess is the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a class talent. There we go.
Yeah. Terminology.
Yeah, but mine look like fireflies.
Let's say mine may be more like a flashlight type thing, so whichever one you guess you want to use.
I'm not sure which is more suspicious.
Right. I mean, can you control those lights? Can you like turn them off at a whim, or
I mean, I can turn them
Girls
off, but
are
I
both
can't
pretty.
control where they spawn or how.
Okay,
They
in which-
basically they're like magical fireflies. I guess the really question
So-
is, does the Empire have more sorcerers or wizards?
I would assume more wizards, but I guess I don't know until Grand Nadastrum separates.
Yes, on that technicality, more wizards.
Okay, then you probably best to go with yours, and I'll
Yeah,
have mine
let's
just
just
in case.
I'll just cast it on the palm of my hand, and then if something comes up, I'm just gonna close my hand and turn off the spell. Basically, use the gauntlet to channel the light spell, and then lead everybody forward as best I can.
And you'll go forward. And back at the table, you'll hear Vaguna pretty much. She'll say, "Alright, so we have. From the Allied Kingdoms, we have the demands to execute an Elder Dragon that most of the Empire doesn't know if it exists. We have the request for separation, or at least the beginnings of the process from Grand Nadastrum, the joyous birth of the new Empire, and what looks like mostly successful library projects." And everybody says, "Well, don't think we've made much headway in diffusing tensions yet. So let's take a break." And everybody would kind of mill out and beyond. And if there's anybody you wanted to talk to, now would be the time, Ferris or Gunhild.
I guess like Ferris would just check in on Casey and see how she's doing,
Uh,
and kind of fill her in that things are going well. Otherwise,
she'll give a... Oh, good.
without overtly saying, "Yeah, we're breaking into the Imperial retreat."
Yeah, the break-in is going fantastic, by the way.
It's... Oh, there we go. Wow, this is a great time for this to mostly freeze on me. So as the audience is treated to the worst visuals possible, which is just the generic edit token screen, Casey looks to Ferris and is like, well, that's good. You're making progress in. I probably should have thought to have the account, to have that bureaucrat tag along.
Yeah, that's well, we got in thankfully, but yeah, that would have been nice to even just a sample.
How should I approach this? I
mean, you're technically the ruler of both Great Gate and Orthr's Glory, are you not?
Oh, I mean, you kind of just left Orthr's Glory as is. So,
I mean, I guess, is there anything that you want out of this?
not particularly, just to buy enough time that the plan can go through.
Well, in that case, I think if you see an opportunity to, I guess, draw. Ferris kind of pauses. I wouldn't say draw too much attention to yourself, but to maybe create a debate of some sort, whether it's siding with somebody who you know will be opposed or otherwise, it probably couldn't hurt matters.
Well, what do you suggest? I'm not an expert on these sort of matters.
Well, the Empire isn't going to cede the Platinum Worm to execution by the Allied Kingdoms anytime soon. If you want to side with Zexal on certain matters, that probably would create enough of a stir that.
Alright, I think. And then kind of as they reconvene, Casey just says, and she go, it is, and she thinks, it is as we've submitted, the attack on Orthr's Glory was not to the Empire, but due to a reaction with a dangerous artifact that needed to be removed from the dangerous warlord. However, the Allied Kingdoms are still entitled to strong and safe borders, so if the execution of a dragon of some sort who's already a prisoner would move that forward, I say the independent city of Great Gate stands by that as well.
Ferris gives a thumbs up and a wink. Good job.
And you just see Florentine rub her temples. It's most of the Empire still believes that the Platinum Worm is somebody protecting them and that will re-emerge to guide the Empire to glory. To just be like, no wait, we're going to give him up for execution on the eve of a new emperor being crowned by being chosen by the Platinum Blood would undercut every bit of authority that symbol has. We don't know where he is. And Rixus kind of presses. It's like, that doesn't sound convincing. Oh, come on, you. Yes, of course you want Imperial authority. We can just look what you're bringing to the table here. And with that scuffle, we'll return to the sneaking party.
Well, I
So-
think this is going well so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't jinx it, but I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back.
All right.
So who wants to break
Close
a cover
this
before he gets back?
I mean, I was just literally about to have Melkesh ask, so why are we going this deep again? But he left. If there's anyone else, nobody else would know.
I didn't get the chance to butt in during that, but
Oh, okay,
I
well,
will say no. I was
No,
just gonna
let's-
say like
let's go back,
Gunhill will
let's-
just. Well, yeah, we can wait till Tyler's back. Like Gunhill will just check in with Calderak because she figured it'd be more suspicious if she didn't check in with him.
yeah. So yeah, we'll do that. Calderak kind of looks, and it's. I haven't had a chance to get a word in edgewise, sweetie. This is a tough crowd.
Yeah, there's a lot. Just a little kind of spacey, kind of like there's a lot going on. Is this what politics is always like?
Well, I thought I thought I could handle this because wizards are pretty rowdy and orcs are pretty rowdy, but half of these people are supposed to be on the same side, and they look to be undercutting each other.
I think that's. I mean, it's kind of like it is back home, right? You kind of have to. You fight for your own interests, but in the interest of your group. But at the same time, I guess. Well, it's internal politics.
What? And why have we spent so much time talking about executing a legendary dragon? I didn't expect that.
I didn't either. I mean, that's. Huh.
You seem distracted, sweetheart.
Oh, yes, it's, well, legendary dragons and being alive, and there's just so much going on here. She kind of trails off again and then just kind of adds. There's just so much to take in.
Do you think the Empire does have this dragon imprisoned? I mean, in theory, that's maybe something we could use. I mean, but to build a prison for an Elder Platinum Dragon would be gigantic. They're amongst the most powerful creatures.
She just kind of responds, well, it's not like we could, break in or anything, and then laughs just slightly too long for her own joke.
Oh.
Sorry, that would be ridiculous.
I'll be back in a second. The room spinning on me. I'll be right back.
That's not good.
The what?
I heard the room started nothing and then me.
Alright, infiltration team. Malkesh, you had a question.
Yeah, Malkesh would kind of walk a little faster and kind of catch up with Ferris and go, so why are we going so deep in here, by the way, again?
We're looking for the Shard of Prophecy. It's probably held pretty deep in here. I can't imagine that whoever's holding it is anywhere near the surface.
You really think we're gonna find it in a place this big, just lying out? Are you looking for, a vault?
I'm looking for a person. Casey said that somebody was using it.
Do we have some way of finding this person?
Well, we did, but Cyril being Cyril.
So we're just wandering in the dark.
Well, you
hoping
say-
we run into
well-
somebody
well,
with
no,
demonic powers.
No, I mean, Ferris kind of... And historically, the shards have always reacted very strongly when they were near other shards. I mean, does it seem like, I guess Ferris will kind of take the remaining shard of prophecy out of his pocket and kind of hold in the palm of his hand to see if it's getting warmer.
You might be able to find something if you put a little of yourself into it.
Ferris takes a deep breath and
it kind
looks
of
to Malkesh and then nods. Okay, well, let's find out.
Malkesh visibly frowns. Malkesh will remember that.
And with that, you kind of use it to locate, and you do feel like someone has recently used that power, and it's coming right from the center, the central garden. And then both you and Malkesh get that flash of a vision, and you see a beautiful garden, and you see somebody just kind of look sleepy and then kind of lie right down on the ground, and then you see their breath go away. And then both you and Malkesh are back to the present area.
When you say their breath go away, do you mean they stop breathing?
They stop breathing.
That person just straight up died.
Let's hurry.
I have serious questions, but I agree.
Was it a person we recognized at all, or
It was not somebody you recognized. They were wearing elegant robes. They looked at least some level of nobility.
So who wants to get blamed for killing the new emperor? Malkesh puts his hand down.
I mean, it wasn't a baby?
Wait, is Gunhild there too? Just did she hear this?
Or a child?
I mean, do we know that the new emperor is necessarily a child so much as newly chosen?
I guess, yeah.
You know it. You
What?
know they're a baby.
Oh, okay, we do know it's a baby. Okay, cool.
You know it. There's.
I thought this was a Dalai Lama thing.
Sure,
and they
maybe
might spend
we
20
killed the
years
Emperor's
trying to find
mother,
it.
but...
What?
What?
Excuse me?
No, we didn't kill anybody. Let's go.
No, he's right. We really do need to go, but yeah, totally.
I mean, we didn't really kill them.
Okay, it's not about if you killed someone or not. Well, it is, but
Either somebody's dying or they're about to die. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
if you say so.
I hope they're allergic to cilantro.
Oh, this food just tastes so terrible. Ugh.
And you kind of rush forward. You're in the darkness, and you're in the darkness. So you know you. It's some of you are more accustomed to the others, but Ferris, you've kind of got the scent of it now, and you can follow through. And Malkesh, as you get closer, you've almost been kind of attuned to that. You almost feel people in the process of just dying.
Malkesh kind of, as he's running, he's kind of looking side to side. This is not a death knell feeling, right? This is something new.
This is some sort of magic that you're not used to. This isn't somebody being exploded. This isn't somebody just kind of being stabbed. Something weird is happening, but you feel death.
Malkesh is going to quietly, just kind of in the back of his mind, say, "Boss?"
And you'll kind of get the feeling that he's listening.
I don't know if that's you or not. but something really weird is going on.
And you just essentially have that feeling that just pretty much the communicated message of
Message has been
Yeah.
seen.
the message has been seen, and then back you kind of get the thought of be careful, these aren't deaths I had power over.
Since all that conversation was internal, Nalkesh just kind of turns to her. Something's not right. We do need to hurry. Gunhild, you might want to be ready for a fight.
I was worried about that.
On how inexplicably has his Macahuitl, because where the fuck does he hide that damn thing?
Hammer space.
So at that
Hammer space.
Ferris will kind of
Weedle space.
summon the arcane dagger.
And you run through, and then you come to an area that's... It seems somebody has kind of manually relit the lights. And you see a large door locked, kind of giving the entrance to the gardens.
My battle arena senses are tingling.
But
It's like chest high walls everywhere.
Big table of health and ammunition just right as you enter the room.
The save point just sitting right in front of us.
But no, you see somebody in front of the door first. And they look like they've been standing guard there for a while. And that person is Indra. And she's
Oh, boo.
got
This is
her,
awkward.
and she has her visor up, and then she kind of looks to you and goes, "You know, I didn't believe her when she said you would come."
Who?
And she pretty much drops the visor down. You've got this far. That's impressive, but this is your opportunity to surrender. It's my sole purpose not to let anybody by this door.
Indra, we don't want to fight you. Somebody's dying on the other side of that door.
There's no way. This has been... We've sealed everybody of importance in there a long time ago. Every door has been watched.
Well, if they're sealed in, then
How can you help them?
This is the most secure place in the Empire, and I know that you have tried to break into it.
Break in, sure, but we're not going to hurt any. Well,
Technically, we
You
didn't
ha-
break anything.
You have your weapons drawn.
because we thought somebody was dying.
How would you know that?
Nalkesh just kind of raises his bony finger. Hi, feel death.
Gunhild in turn just like picks up Malkesh and holds him forward.
No, not this. This is...
What's worse is it's not death connected with the person who really typically is. Something's wrong.
From doors along the side, you see a few additional troops come out. As I said, it's my purpose to protect this place. You're not supposed to be here.
Indra, who's on the other side of that door?
It's some of the most important... Why am I telling you this? I trusted you all.
And I'm asking you to trust us now. Somebody inside of there is at risk, and this is pointless. We're on the same side.
We can sort this out later. Just drop your weapons. And then come peacefully back out of here.
There's no time for that.
If we drop our weapons, will you at least check inside that room?
That's all we're asking.
Just, we'll put them down. We need you to turn around and look inside. If we're wrong, we're wrong. And to the tree, I hope we are.
Put them down.
Han now drops his Macahuitl, puts his hands up.
And Gunhill will put her weapon down as well.
All right.
She does activate, just in case, she activates the switch that will eventually rev it if needed.
Yeah, and Hunau's going to gather his focus while his the thing's on the ground.
Melkesh just crosses his arms. I really don't use weapons.
Honestly, yeah.
It's
Ferris will kind of just secret away that arcane dagger.
She looks and then points to everybody. These are Imperial Guard of the highest caliber as well as detention mages. They're trained to try to take people in alive. They do have the ability to try to teleport you to the dungeons. Don't try anything.
We're not here to try anything. We just want to make sure whoever's on the other side of that door is still alive.
And isn't in distress.
And she walks in and she turns and she goes through and you just kind of hear a "Oh my god, get in here, everybody!" And one of the guards is like, what about the intruders? Just bring them in too!
So yeah, Ferris is not even waiting for permission. He's going in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gunhill rushes in.
And you go in. And what you see is you see a beautiful garden. You see it's stunning. It's been carefully manicured. It's got benches, it's got water features, it's got plants that you know are so rare and so beautiful, it's just pleasing you a little just to see them. But it's distracting because you essentially see across there, either on benches or on the ground, you see a bunch of essentially imperial nobility, those that have been identified as people who could give birth to the next emperor, somebody who could, who the platinum blood, in theory, runs strong in. You see that they just either sat down or lied down and stopped breathing. And Indra's dropped her weapon, and she's just going corpse to corpse, just flipping them over. She looks panicked.
Melkesh goes to the nearest one and checks for soul.
Empty.
Melkesh just turns back to the group and kind of shakes his head, like, beyond my power.
Oh no.
The prophecy showed the person holding the shard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would we be able to find that particular body?
I always say, is Ferris drawn to any particular body in particular?
You don't feel a particular draw. The draw that you feel is still drawing you further into.
So this isn't the garden we saw.
This is not the garden you saw. There is another layer that you're being pulled towards.
And so Ferris just kind of like pauses and just, you know, blank face, just staring at all this, and then he just starts walking forward. Like there's another place where he needs to be at this point.
You go forward and you enter kind of what looks like the most inner chamber. And it's locked and closed off. And you feel the resonance coming from inside.
Ferris isn't fucking around. I'm gonna throw a fireball at that door.
Alright.
Guess roll an attack against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's paltry damage.
Mukesh kind of looks at that and goes, now we've broken something.
The fireball goes forward and it almost hits as if it hits a bubble. And when it hits that bubble, it's almost like the fire accelerates and burns harder and faster as if time is speeding up until it burns out.
That's impressive, Mukesh just sort of says and turns his head. Any other ideas?
Ferris just narrows his eyes and tries to, I guess, counter magic that bubble.
I have a backup.
Like he doesn't want, like he's bound and determined to get through this door.
Yeah, you start. And then, almost before you even cast the spell, you know whoever's in there is maintaining this bubble with the same power that comes from the shard.
I say. So what Ferris will do is he will look at the shard for a brief second, and I guess I'll do a background check to see if I can break through without using it. But if I fail, Ferris is going to use that shard to get through.
You're about to consider that, but then the other you gets a little distracted as for maybe Rixus and Orlando were arguing or Florentine was like this. Not much has gotten done as you've kind of phased out to deal with that.
Uh-huh.
But then you hear a loud, almost explosion sound coming from directly below this room. And soon, somebody kind of just... a mage knight who looks just half burnt to a crisp just falls through the door. And just his last words are, "Something's attacking from inside the archives!" Before people rush to him to give him medical attention.
His concentration drop. Mukesh kind of walks